Greetings. I want to, I'd like you to all to sort of listen to this through its entirety. I've no idea how long I'm gonna talk for, but just bear with me and I want you to have a think about all this that I say from your own personal experiences of it all. Now, as we all know, we live on a spinning ball that is going round the sun, which is going round something else, and the universe is expanding out into who knows what. It has to be, doesn't it? I've never been to space, so I rely on the information I've given. And let's face it, you forget about anything about history. Think about your own personal life. Think about when you went to school. You would have had the globe in the classroom, no doubt. You will have seen it at the start of a lot of films. You'll see the Earth spinning. There's all the sci-fi movies. Now, why would anybody lie about that? Because if you think about it, I want you to just think about this. If they are lying about that, look at what our lives or what we can potentially be encouraged to do. You could go on to university. You could end up being a professor and teaching students about space. All the sciences that relate to that. So, if it was to turn out that none of that was true, it's not only why would they lie about that, there is another big question that people have mentioned but not sort of asked, as far as I know, have asked outright about this. And that is about every nation's space exploration. Because that is an awful lot of money. I'm not going to quote figures, because you can look this up for yourself. You can go on Wiki and see what the spending is and everything. You can go and look at NASA websites and so on. Think about where that money is coming from. Think about what you get back from all this space exploration. It's incredible that these moon missions just suddenly stopped in 1972 and no going back there, but now we're going to be going to, collectively, shall we say, we're going to Mars. And think about all these things that are sending back information. What have we really gained from it? We seem to have an increasing number of problems. Homeless, plastics, polluted oceans, species going extinct for various reasons, the whole thing with the weather. That's an awful lot of money to start exploring elsewhere when we haven't got our own house in order. But I mean, if clearly, and I mean, I've done this myself. I've looked at distances where I know the measurements. I'll tell you exactly where it was. It was Worthing on the south coast, and I could see right across to Peacehaven. Now that's about a 20-mile or so drive, I think, or 12 miles. Now, if I go to this calculator, which you can get on the internet, of curvature, I shouldn't be able to see things at beach level while I'm on the beach. It should disappear. So, am I to not trust my own eyes? You see, now, there's never any, I mean, there's plenty of YouTube videos. You can do this yourself. You can see great long distances if the light conditions are right. You can pull things back into view with these good quality cameras. And with telescopes and things, ships that seem to appear to go over a curve, they just come back into focus. I mean, you have got a circle around you. If you're on open ground that is unrestricted, you're going to see a circle around you anyway. It's going to be the limit of your eyesight. But things don't add up with any of this. I watched a program on YouTube about the Antarctic. I think it was photographing wildlife, and it's stated in this documentary that it was in the January of the year, and in the commentary it said that, oh, we had to wait till 8 o'clock in the morning for the sun to come up. And I thought, hang on a minute, we're told that that's 24 hours of daylight at that time of year. So why would they say that? And then you start, this is the thing, I don't know what it is with people. Is it because if that's wrong, you've then got to start asking why? That if they're going to lie about that, what else are they going to lie about? There was a weather report not so long back where the reporter is leaning, making out it is high winds, and then there's two teenagers walking behind like nothing, there's no wind at all. So it looks like they lie about the weather. Then you start looking into other things. You see, it's nothing to do so much with the shape of the earth. It's the fact that we're being lied to. And it is a fact. Because you start looking into these things, and I mean really looking in. Don't just look at Wiki. And don't just take the first opinion of anything that you look at. Look at many things. And you will start to think, is anything we've been told true? Because history is another one. So just think about within your own lifetime, forget about history or whatever that might be. Just think about what you've been told. Look also at the patterns with these elections. Do you really see a pattern of any change, regardless of which political party is in power? And ask yourself also about all these election promises that each political party says they're going to do. Now, there's this lovely word they like to use and everything else, but where is the accountability of these politicians? Remember, they're supposed to work for us. In this wonderful, fair world, we vote and we get what we want, don't we? Because it doesn't seem to be that way somehow. There is something very wrong. I'm also question the idea of why we're encouraged to look up. It's in every sci-fi thing, whether it be aliens, UFOs, where it's all about looking up. And this almost blank check for space exploration. But why is there no enthusiasm for what is below our feet? Why is it we can't go to certain areas? We don't have the ability to travel about freely. What problem would it really cause? I mean, there are vast areas that have very little human population. And can you really know if there's 7.5 billion people in this world? Is there more? Is there less? What do we really know? What this information we're getting, how truthful is it? Because if they can lie about one thing, I'm pretty certain that they lie about everything. Because just look at the nature of a lie. I'm sure as a child we've all done it. We've all lied about something, maybe to our parents, saying we were somewhere where we were not because we don't want to get in trouble. But if you're noticed with a lie, you then have to cover it with another one. And then if you get asked another question or something seems to conflict, you've then got to come up with another lie and another lie, and this has to be fed continuously. But I would seriously ask that question as to why taxpayers are basically like an open purse. And space exploration just seems to have an unlimited right, shall we say, to just take what they need. And what are we really getting back for it? A few photos of rockets going up, some astronauts not exactly looking excited about what they've done. The historical significance of being the first people to go to the moon. Why is it some of these astronauts say they can see all the stars, other ones say you can't see anything? Why is it always a night sky on the moon, for example? None of this seems to, if you really look at this, it doesn't seem to add up at all. And you got to start questioning everything for your own sakes, because it is down to what you put in your body as well. You've got to start looking at all the food. Don't just take government guidelines, because if you start looking into government guidelines, you'll find there is no scientific basis for anything. And again, it appears to be yet another lie. So I'm going to leave that there, because there's a lot of questions that generate even more questions and no satisfactory answers. I'll give you one more case of this, the Antarctic. There's a guy in Australia. He wrote to the Australian Antarctic, whatever they call it, agency. And he asked them about why there is not 24-hour film footage showing 24-hour shadows where there should be at a good 2 months of the year, from what we are told. He was referred to write to or contact the United States to ask the same question, and their reply was that the film was expensive, and during the hours of darkness there is no point just filming darkness. Well, wait a minute, isn't it supposed to be 24 hours of daylight? So again, the answers are not satisfactory. But we're crazy when we ask all these questions, when things do not add up and the answers don't make sense to the information that they have told us in the first place, be it through the education system or through the news, through the media, through programs on television, through books, magazines. They're all telling you these same stories. Or they're telling you stories that have got half-truths in them. But we just need to keep asking questions, because none of it is making any sense. If I'm a crazy person, it's because I'm in a crazy world. Anyway, I shall leave that one there, and I will say ta-ta for now. Thank you.